I guess I'm live. I'm going to talk about Joe Biden and his State of the Union. Even though I agreed with some of his ideas, I didn't agree with some of his ideas, but I'm not here to discuss what I agree and what I disagree with. I'm going to discuss about one idea that he could have covered more of, but didn't. And that's the idea of disability with Social Security. And he said he wasn't going to cut it, but I'm going to just add. Well, let me cut to the chase. Right now, people with disabilities who are on SSDI or maybe getting supplemental security income, even people who are on retirement, who are collecting Social Security and everything else. You know, Biden has been doing some things where our pay has been increasing. Nothing wrong with that. He has been mentioning that the rich will be heavily taxed and money will go back. Nothing wrong with that. However, what he did not mention or neglected to mention was that right now people who are on disability are only capped with the amount of money that they make on disability. It's true. We're only allowed to make a certain amount of money on disability. And if you go over that limit, that small amount of limit, you might come up in disqualification and stuff like that. And if you have a mental health issue or a disability, a physical ailment or whatever, you could wind up back in the hospital and stuff like that, where you might be covered for 8.5 years with Medicare, but you run into that problem that you might not have the funding when it's there. You can't pay your bills because you might have lost your job. And this happens a lot with people who had mental health problems. A lot often because, a lot of times they might work, but they might not necessarily be able to hold on to a job that much. And maybe they do, but there's that chance that they might slip and have a setback. So I'm here to say, and I'm here to advocate for them, and I'm here to say that that needs to be addressed, because they need to extend the amount that they can make that are whoever's on disability. I have to say that, because it could be anything. what happens if a setback, like I say. We don't like to think of those things, but let's just say some people who are on disability, or even a regular person who has a lot of debt, they might be working hard just to pay that debt off. And credit cards and loans and everything else don't necessarily forgive debt unless you're in a debt settlement program or something like that. So it's going to take about 3, 4, 5 years, maybe even more if you don't have that, to get out of debt. So I'm here to say that something needs to be done about the amount of money that you could make. Like more money for the disabled, or the SSDI or SSI, more money, or a stimulus, or even 200 or $1,000 a month until we could overcome our issues and then return to normal, or something like that, or we're at least at 50,000 or to 100,000 level. I don't know. I'm just saying. The main reason why I say this, not just me for an example, but let's just say you have people who are even worse off than me, maybe who have to afford their wheelchair, or they have to afford their may have vision problems, may have other issues. I don't know. There's many disabilities out there. Who could name one? I mean, I could speak for the mental health. You got like to make sure with mental health care, and and then you're only granted a certain amount, and then you're not even, which president did discuss about the mental, about lowering the rent and stuff like that, which I did say that. He did say that, I mean. But bar nothing, it's not easy, because you're only granted a certain amount on disability. How are you supposed to pay for these things that come up? How are you going to pay for the emergencies? Something like a car goes out, and then I know in 10 more years, my governor in the state said everything is going to be electric. How is electric cars going to be affordable? I'm just saying. People, like, part of my language, like to drive the cheap piece of crap, even though they're paying more, because it's affordable. So I'm just saying that right there. So I mean, there's just several things. I mean, they want to go to energy, but energy is good and all, but we're not ready for it. There's just little areas of electric, and electric isn't guaranteed yet. It isn't bulletproof. I mean, I'm surprised they don't do things where the car runs on water. I'm just saying. But, that's what I have to say. The fact is, people with disabilities are overlooked with the amount of money that they can make because on disability, because if you make too much, they'll take it away and they'll garnish it. And it'll be two for every $1 or three for every one, however it looks. But I'm just saying that this needs to be looked at, because if you're limiting a person with a disability and you're limiting their quality of life, you're limiting what they could possibly do for the environment, what they could possibly do with their jobs, what they could do with their businesses, and whatnot. Nobody is truly limited unless you limit them. And sure, they might need that cushion and that barrier to protect them. But once that barrier is removed, they hit the ground hard. And they might not come back. So that's why I'm saying disability is important, but making a little bit more than what you normally make needs to be done. So that's what I gotta say. I have to get going now to handle a phone call, but that's what I have to say.